The time Kotoko sacked Postpogum, they were out of the league. And I knew Kotoko were never going to win the league.
Okay.
Like, scientifically, they can't win the league. Like, I told someone that if Kotoko wins the league, we should stop playing Ghana Premier League. They are in the top 4 because, Kotoko is big. It's a very big club they are very above a lot of clubs in Ghana. I think out of line, they never targeted winning the league. Yes. They wanted to avoid relegation, but did it in a grand style. Or BBN Goldstars, they have been the real title contenders.
For once, I believe playing league is about picking at the right time.
Yeah.
You pick at the right time when everyone is down.
Yeah,
you accumulate the results or the points you need to accumulate, and then you get up there.
A lot of people haven't paid attention to it, but what helped the Nations FC was the number of difficult games they played in the early stages of the season.
Alright guys, welcome back to this channel. This is Ghana Premier League Extra Plus. You know what we talk about here? We talk about Ghana Premier League extensively. We are going to talk about the Ghana Premier League title race. We talk about it almost every week. And we bring the different guests who tell the conversation into their own preferred direction. We have one man here, he might not be biased and talk about it in the way some of us want. Dela, you are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure
to be on your channel.
Are you going to be biased here?
Oh no, come on. I've never been biased.
Okay, so we get to judge that at the end of the video. We help to judge whether he was biased or not. The Ghana Premier League title race is on. We have just 2 games left. Currently, we have about 3 contenders. Heart of Lions seems to be out at this point after losing to Young Apostles over the weekend. We have Nations FC leading, and then we have BBN Goldstars and Kotoko. Do you still think there's still title contention in the first place?
Yeah, I think there is. If you look at the points, I think the points makes it very obvious. The points are very close. Nations FC are leading with just 3 points. 3 points is just a one game.
So there's 60, 57, and then 56,
yes,
if I'm right.
So it's a matter of a game. Like, you just need to lose a game, and the opponent will take advantage of it. So I think it's been very close call. And also the fact that BBN Goldstars have been were league leaders until they lost against Kerala United. So it tells you the number of, and Kotoko was also once leading the league table. Like, the league has had at least 3 different teams occupied.
But there was even a point where you had Heart of Lions leading there.
Good. There was a point where you had Heart of Lions also leading. So it's been a very, very, has not been a straightforward league title run. It's just a matter of you lose some points and then you're out of the title race. And I think that's why I'll give credit to Nations FC for they've been consistent in the month of April. I think a lot of things changed in the month of April when they managed to win almost every game that they played and took advantage of Kerala United beating BBN Goldstars. For Kotoko, I think they lost the league at a point. And then
they made a comeback.
That comeback, I see that comeback helped Nations rather than Kotoko itself. Because the time Kotoko sacked Postpogum, they were out of the league. And I think I've said this. I knew Kotoko were never going to win the league.
Okay.
Like, scientifically, they can't win the league. Like, I told someone that if Kotoko wins the league, we should stop playing Ghana Premier League.
Why?
Because football is scientific. No team in this world should be able to sack an entire team in a season, replace them with new team, and be able to win that league.
Okay.
That tells you that, like, the league is very dead and it's not competitive. So I knew that Kotoko will struggle and they will never win the league. They are in the top 4 because, Kotoko is big. It's a very big club they are very above a lot of clubs in Ghana. Like, the gap between Kotoko and the other 16 clubs is very huge. So it makes it so no matter how bad they are, they can't go on relegation.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. So no matter how bad they are, they will always be in the top 4.
In the top 4.
But it doesn't mean that they've had a good season. So I knew that they would struggle. They managed to stay in the MTN FA Cup, which is cup game, which is very good for them because they would have gone trophyless. But once they changed their manager, they increased their chances of winning the FA Cup. Because I was certain that they would have lost the FA Cup to Prosper Ogun if things, if they didn't change things to switch the team's momentum and the camp. But apart from that, I think other teams that have been very good, Heart of Lions. I think Heart of Lions, they never targeted within the league.
Oh, really?
Yes. They wanted to avoid relegation, but did it in a grand style. So they just like Abdulaziz says scenario. They aimed higher, and then they got this. So that's it. They wanted to avoid relegation, but they didn't aim at avoiding relegation. They aimed higher. Because they have an experienced coach who knows the Premier League well. He knew that, if I win all my home matches, home dry. So he won more home matches and try to win some of their away games.
But I think it all went bad for them when they lost to Nations at Ando.
When they lost to Nations, then they started losing certain games. And the Premier League is also in a way that you don't win a lot of away games. So when you end up dropping at least 6 points at home, and I think they drew to Kotoko too.
Yeah, they
so
drew
when
to
you
Kotoko.
start,
and then they lost to Dreams.
Good at home too. So when you start dropping some points at home, unless you have a very good away record like Nations, you will be out of the league. And that's it. And for the BNI Goldstars, I think they have been the real title contenders.
Okay.
In my opinion. They were very good in traveling. And also very great at home. Even for them, at home has been their strength. Because remember, their first season in the Premier League, they didn't lose a game.
Yeah, that's true.
Second season, they lost only one game to Dreams FC. So at home, they are very consistent and very great at it. So when they had an eye for the league, I knew that they were going to be a title contender. Because naturally, they know how to win their home games. But once they lost to Karela.
But I actually tipped this BNI Goldstars to contend for the title when they beat Atofok in Accra. Yeah. So that game, Kwesi Edu was there, and he said that win confirms that this could be their year. And subsequently, I saw that they were getting results where most teams even failed to even get a draw. And the result that climaxed everything was the win they got at Bichim.
Yes.
Teams were even finding it difficult to get a point. Abechim. They went there, beat them by 2-0.
Oh yeah, they did. For them, they played the league like they wanted to win. I think when they played against Nations, it was very obvious that this team, they want to win their league. And I think with everything around them, they look like themselves and were like, now we have the capacity and everything to win. And also the fact that House of Folk and Kotoko were nowhere closer to winning the league. It was always going to be an outsider winning it this season. And if an outsider is winning it, then it's for everybody. Because Mediama themselves were out of it. So it was like, it's for everybody. Whoever becomes serious goes for it. And as I told you, Lions were never going to win the league. Like, if you're somebody who has followed the league very well, somebody who follows the Premier, you knew that they never had their eyes on winning the league.
It's left with one team, Nations FC. Last season, they were up there at a point and then things twisted. This season, it seems similar at a point in time. But for once, I believe playing league is about picking at the right time. You pick at the right time when everyone is down. You accumulate the results or the points you need to accumulate, and then you get up there. Media did it against Diana at a point in time. Samatex did it last season, even against Nations FC. What do you think Nations did different this season? And that could be the reason why they're up there now.
I think a lot of things, but one of them is the fact that last season, in as much as from outside you think the club did well, I think everybody in the club were disappointed.
Wow.
Yeah, because
that was their first season.
Yes, and that's how ambitious the club is and the people around the team, because they have a very great coach, great players, and they realize, we nearly won the league. We could have even won the league. Okay, we didn't win. But where we ended up, the team ended up around 7th.
Yeah, 6th, 7th. Charlie.
That was very bad.
It was terrible.
It was not a great. So from our side, first team, they did well. But away from that, we were like, this is a team that we would, because some of the results that they gave away was kind of disappointing. So new season, it was more of what can we do different and can we win the league. And once it was obvious that Kotoko out of the league, Haas out of the league, it was open.
I think Nation started with a draw and then
draw against Bechem United.
And then they won Adriana.
Yes.
The next game.
And I'm going to a lot of people haven't paid attention to it, but what helped Dreams FC was the number of difficult games the Nations FC was the number of difficult games they played in the early stages of the season.
Okay.
Nation played at least top 5 games in the early stages of the season.
Okay.
Bechem, Adriana,
Heart of Folk.
Yeah,
that was the goal. Goldstars. And then even Kotoko.
And then Kotoko too.
Yeah.
So they played all the top games in the early stages of the season. And Nations, naturally, very great team. So when the season starts fresh and the opponent hasn't picked, they will beat you. Okay. That's what helped. So Nations got good points against teams that, on an average, if they are playing them in the middle of the season, they would have perhaps struggled.
Yeah. So like a team like Adriana in Doma.
Good.
Yeah.
If they are playing against Adriana in the business end of the season, they will do anything to win you. But if it's in the early stage of the season,
I think that was match day 2.
Yes.
Sharp.
You get your points your way. You get what I'm talking about. You are playing Bechem United, early stage of the season.
Yeah. And Kotoko early stage. And
you
were lucky to get them in Obuasi.
Good. And it was Obuasi. The team were still finding their feet.
Yeah. And they took it.
So that's what helped Nations. And so it looks like the team is picking at the right time. Yes, because they are playing the less competitive games in the end of the season.
Whilst the other opponents
others are playing the more competitive games. So I've said that Nations will win the league a very long time ago. And there are people, because they will say because I work with the club. No, it's because I know the league and I know the games that Nations are playing. If you look at Kotoko like this, I told Kotoko they will never win the league. And they appointing Zito will help Nations to win the league, because once Zito is in the team, I know Zito, I work with Zito. Once Zito is in, Zito will go to the dance park and get a draw. That game, I said, is a Kotoko win or draw.
Yeah. For that game, it was, I think it was very clear.
Yes.
I knew they were not leaving Goldstars with nothing.
Good. It was a Kotoko win or draw game. And that result favors Dreams FC, favors Nations FC more than Kotoko itself, because Kotoko's next 2 games, they are playing Mediama
at home, and eventually I doubt they can even go with the draw.
Good. And
Vision.
Then they will go and play Vision. So, and at that point, so if you are somebody who follows the league, sometimes when you watch that's what people need to understand. When you watch the games, you may think, oh, this one win. But if you follow the league very well, you realize that the permutations are different. See, Kotoko will play Mediama. Check Mediama's position on the league table. The point, Mediama are around 6th, 7th, thereabout. But the point gap is so close that if they lose against Kotoko, they may end up 10th. So Mediama themselves playing against Kotoko away knows that result, they need to leave with a point.
And Vision.
And Kotoko will go to Vision. The league, I always say that, maybe we'll come back to the relegation battle too. But since Saint-Germain moving out of the league made the relegation a bit easier than we think. If not, it would have been it would have been more competitive
than even the title contention.
The league itself, because Saint-Germain were never going on relegation.
Yeah, that's true.
So they were going to make it more difficult for the big teams down there. But away from that, Vision's relegation battle will go down to the last game
against Kotoko.
And once you are going to Tema, even if you are Barcelona,
they will dominate.
They will
and then score.
They will beat, like, even if you are Barcelona.
Yeah, that's so true.
Zito, the best Zito go fit do the maybe a draw.
Draw.
Out of the league.
Oh, wow.
So you see, like Kotoko out, like Kotoko have been out of the league
out.
Very, very long time ago. But at least they did well, and now so Kotoko out of the league. Now you come to Goldstars. I think Goldstars,
they'll have to travel to Brekum.
They'll go to
and
Brekum
then play the Accra Lions in the last game.
Accra Lions relegation will also come down to the last game. But I think it's away. Goldstars are playing home, right?
Yeah, Goldstars are playing.
Once they are playing home, it's more like a win for them. Their game against Brekum is also 50-50 because of where Brekum Chelsea also finds itself. If Brekum Chelsea fails to, if the other games or the other teams below Brekum Chelsea also, because Brekum Chelsea has 41 points thereabouts. This season, you need at least 45 points to survive relegation. Brekum Chelsea, if plus or minus, they may not go on relegation, but they may look like they may end up, Godu may end up like beneath 10th there. Is it something that he wants to get to that point?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So that it makes that game
A bit difficult.
Now, Nations FC are leading. Now you come to Nations FC. They are leading with 3 points.
3 points. So they have to travel.
That means that they need to lose a game.
Yeah.
Like that's like
there are 2 games left. They need to lose a game.
Nations needs to lose one.
And Goldstars needs to win all.
So now Nations will play against Baseke. And I think that will be the most difficult game. Because Baseke, they look like they may go on relegation. In as much as they are not in the red zone yet, their points looks like if they lose against Nations, they would struggle. However, Nations also has the best away records this season. Like, they've even lost more games at home than away.
Yeah.
They beat House of Folk away, Kotoko away. So they're very great side traveling away. They are playing against Baseke. On any day, they will be able to beat them. But football is football. It's a game that Nations can come back with a point.
But personally, I believe that game will end in a point. Or end in a draw.
Yes,
that
that's
game
what I'm saying.
will end in a
Like,
draw. Yeah.
Nations can come back with a point. Because at the end of the day, they just need to get the points. And when they get the points, they'll be great.
Even if Brecum Chelsea loses to Begin Goldstars, there's still 1 point.
1 point, yeah.
And then it goes down to the final
game. And I have a feeling that if Nations manage to beat Baseke, I think the last game may be ceremonial. If Nations manage to beat Baseke,
yeah. If they beat Baseke, then the last game will be ceremonial.
If they beat Baseke,
but okay.
And Chelsea, because I have that Chelsea game may also end up in a draw.
And that means it crowns Nations as the league winners.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's it. And then Nations has a last game against Accra Lions at home.
Okay.
Heart of Lions at home. At that point, Heart of Lions will play 2 hours.
Can Heart of Lions know that they are out of the
league table? And no matter how great Lions come, Nations will beat them. So I think that's why I feel Nations will end up winning.
So on paper, Nations FC, and in reality, Nations FC are winning.
In reality, Nations FC.
Okay, thanks so much. Let's wrap this up. I have a question I've been contemplating it. If, let's say, Brecum Chelsea loses to Goldstars wins, and then Nations draws with Basake, and there's 1 point difference, both teams can win their league.
Yeah.
On that day.
It's going to be on that day.
In 2012 or 2013, where Manchester United and Manchester City were both contending for the title, we saw a helicopter with the title flying from Old Trafford to Etihad. How are you going to have it in Ghana? Would there be a helicopter flying from Abrankese to Dance Park just to land at who is going to win the league?
You have like, I think, how many helicopters do you have in Ghana?
I don't know.
I think your man has a private jet, but that private jet cannot land in a
so
area.
So how is it going to be? Is it that
the coronation will be after?
The coronation will be after.
No, but they can keep the everything in Kumasi, and whoever wins, they just move it to. Or they can prepare
on that same day.
Yeah, or they can prepare the coronation. Because what happened was that it was done in England. They prepared
at both venues.
It's just
it was just a trophy.
But that's the thing. But the game can end like 6 p.m., like 5-6 p.m.
Yeah.
What would you do?
So this is a question to GFA.
Because unless we use the military, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Maybe the FA should try it.
Because I've been thinking about, I've been contemplating it.
It sounds like a silly question.
It's very true.
It could be a reality.
Yes, it could be.
And you see, I never thought of it until I realized that most of our games, the game will end like 6-5 p.m.
Yes, like 5 p.m.
Yeah. So, and if you are driving from Accra to, if you are driving
from Kumasi to BN, that's like 2 hours.
That's 2 hours.
2 hours. So that's 7. So how are you going to do the coronation?
And there's no lights like that you can do there. And if you keep it also in, and who has a bigger chance of winning? You can't also decide.
Yes, you can't also, because it's just 1 point.
Charlie, that's true. I think the best will be using the military jets. Maybe you talk to the president. He speaks.
Okay, we might write this formally to the FA to inquire about this. So just be on hold.
I think they. I don't. They are hoping like the way I'm hoping
that it's going to go smooth, so that by the last match we know who is going to win already.
If not the fact that I said I won't be biased by this area, if not the fact that I work with nations, I would wish that we'll get to the last day.
We'll get to that. But then since Relegation, you just pray that everything will be done by last match, so that we know we are going to celebrate.
Yeah, when you are going to work, you know that Charlie, this today, dear,
will be enjoyment.
It's like when Dreams FC, when I was with Dreams at the finals and we were playing against.
Yeah, the one against King Faisal at Abraham.
When I was going to work,
you know that it was merry day.
Yeah, we are going to win the game, and I think it's good. But it's been fun myself personally. I just realized that I may win the league and then the FA Cup as someone who has worked, because I work with Dreams and won the FA Cup, and now I'm
back to back.
It'd be nice. Maybe after that, maybe when Nations wins, then we'll talk about it more. But personally, I think yesterday I made a tweet that I think this season has been a very competitive season.
Yeah.
In football, even from the Division 1 down all the way to the Premier Team. And if you look at the Euphoria in the lab, we've always
even for the women's football.
Yeah. And we've always exactly. Look at how Police Ladies managed to win the end. I think Jonila or the bar also won the
Faith Ladies with Jonina.
Yes, to win the MTN FA Cup. And if you ask me, with the right investment here, we can easily move our league and our football to one of the best in Africa, because naturally we have proper football culture. It's just money and some skirmishes. But I think the title race, I think this season has been very, 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 very tough. And also salute to Kotoko for not just giving up, being in there. I think they being in there made it, and Heart of Lions also being in there made it not, because if the other teams were not strong, like Kotoko would just bypass everybody and just come and take it again. But I think salute to Nations, BBNU Goldstars, Heart of Lions, these are relatively young teams that have shown a lot of respect and like a lot of prospect, and they've been doing a lot of things. I think I personally enjoyed the league, but the relegation battle, I think this season in Stratema just made it.
So we have in Stratema, so the two teams too. Lagos is also gone. Yeah. So the last team, which is
I think Stratema made it easier. Stratema really made it easier. If not, like things would have been very tough. Last time I was looking at the points difference. At this point, it looks like Accra Lions, but Accra Lions has. I want to be sure. Like the way I did, I was so sure of the top level. I have not really looked at the relegation. So what I know is that Accra Lions, their last game will be against Goldstars at Dance Park, which will make it very difficult for them. So we have in Stratema, Lagos City's Accra Lions. Accra Lions has 35 points. Karela has 35 points.
Karela has 35.
Yeah. Holy Stars has 38. Vision has 39. Let's do the analysis now.
Okay, so which games would
Karela will play Young Apostles at home.
At home, yes, and that's 3 points for
Karela. That's 3 points for them.
Yeah. So they go to 38.
Karela, I'm coming. Karela will be out of, and then they will play. They play Young Apostle. Karela because they will play Stratema. So they have 6 points. So they are
gone.
Yeah, they are safe.
So Accra Lions.
Then you come to Accra Lions.
Their next game is
Accra Lions will play Dreams FC at home.
At home. Which is a game I think will be very difficult to win.
Yeah. It's a game that can end in a draw.
Yes. And it's a game that I'll not be surprised even if Dreams win. Yeah. Because it's also in Accra.
Yes. Yeah, and the players are very familiar with it. And then they'll go away and go and play.
Which is a no-go area.
So Lions has a very tough. And then let's come to Holy Stars.
Holy Stars will play Nations.
Which they will drop a point there. Yeah. And then they will play Adriana Stars away. Wow!
But in all this, I think the safest club is Karela.
Yes, so Karela is out. So I'm looking at.
So the safest Karela. Karela knew it was going to be like this. That's why they manned up and got results against being Goldstars in the media, man.
Yes.
Because they knew it was going to end like this.
Yes.
I think Karela is out.
Yeah, Karela will not go in.
Yes. But Basque, how many points do they have?
38.
30, and then Accra Lions will have 35. Yeah. So there's still 3 points difference there.
Yeah,
so that's why I believe it's Accra Lions is gone.
Because Vision has 39.
Yeah, exactly. And then Vision has a game to prove to the world that we know how to play football. That's against Kotoko. Yeah, and they'll do everything possible not to lose this game, not to lose that game. So I think they still have about 3 points in that game.
Do you know that Vision? Oh, come on. Vision is also...
Vision has in Swatre. So they are resting before Kotoko. Now, it seems every team that plays against Kotoko has a day to rest, has a week to rest, because there was Heart of Folk who rested before playing Kotoko. There was a BBN Goldstars who rested before playing Kotoko. Mediama rested last weekend playing Kotoko. And then so it's just going to be like, and then Vision also resting before Kotoko. So yeah, I think it's just Accra Lions.
Yeah,
so
it's dead. It's dead because Visions that point takes them to 30. That point takes them to Vision now has 39. So that point takes them to 42. Gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Wow,
Yeah.
Lions.
And so that was it.
Yeah, I think Lions.
From the Ghana Premier League analysis by Dela. Dela is a very solid man. He's going to host us on 8th June, where we are going to have fun at Dr. Kwamichi's first complex. Dela, we will come. We will come. So we have to and we're all going to be there. So don't forget also to like the channel, subscribe, and also turn on post notifications. You can share the link to some friends also to enjoy what goes on. I'm Augustine, and I did this with the latest title, Ghana Premier League title winner. And Delali.
Wait. Amen. Let me take it. Amen.
Delali. So Delali also has a YouTube channel. You can check it out. Dela, your YouTube channel.
Del Soccer. So, DLSOK.
So you can check Del Soccer out for some interesting content over there. He's a very solid man. I did trust him the whole Ghana content creation there. So take very good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.